Do you guys know how expensive slaves are? Back 200 years ago, it was very normal for a slave owner to spend 90 or even 100% of all of his profits just paying for the slave. Well, think about it. If you want to own a group of slaves, first of all, you need to take care of their health care. Okay, if the slaves are extremely sick, they won't be able to work on the field and pick cotton. And if they get extremely sick and they die on the plantation, okay, they won't be able to make any money for you. So healthcare, that's a huge issue. Number two, you got to provide them with shelter. If these slaves, if they don't get any proper rest, how are they going to be able to wake up or refreshed the next morning so they can get back to the plantation so they can make more money for you? First of all, you have healthcare. Then number two, you have to provide shelter. And then number three, it's also essential. You got to provide these slaves with food and nutrition. You got to keep these slaves fed, or how they're going to have energy to work on the field all day. You see, these three elements, they're extremely expensive. That's why oftentimes way back in the day, these southerners that owned slaves, many of these people were actually extremely poor because almost all the profits went into healthcare, shelter, and nutrition for the slaves. So there's got to be a better system for these slave owners, right? Because this system just didn't seem to make a lot of sense. What if these groups of white folks, what if they got together and then instead of calling this practice slavery, they simply changed it to feminism? Okay, doesn't that sound so much better? Okay, now we're empowering women. Let's say if we fast forward 200 years, we're living in 2024. Let's say if you're working in Manhattan, in New York City, you're working for an accounting firm, and they say that, oh, ladies, you don't need men. All you need is a career, okay? We're going to give you all the benefits. You'll get a good pension. We'll give you a good paying wage. Let's say we'll pay you $60,000 a year for you to come to Manhattan to work for an accounting firm. First of all, it's never $60,000, okay? Every time you get your paycheck, you will see that 25% of your money is being taken away by FICA. And not just that, you know what's the biggest scam in history? Something most of you guys are not aware of. I was completely shocked when I moved over to the West from China. For example, in China, if someone has a lot of money, if they purchase a 3-bedroom and 1,076 square feet condo in China, okay, you own that 3-bedroom condo for the rest of your life. It is yours. There's zero property tax, okay? You have 100% ownership. However, in the West, even if you make a lot of money, even if you're able to purchase a house outright with cash, okay, you still have to pay 1% of property tax for the rest of your life. That is the greatest scam ever sold. Where the hell is your property tax money going from? To fund the CIA covert operations? To fund the wars in Ukraine? To fund the wars in the Middle East? Can't you guys see what's happening? People want to talk shit about the Chinese Communist Party. Listen, do not give them any ideas, okay? I sincerely hope that China will never ever implement this bullshit property tax because it's a 100% scam. And guess what, homeowners, okay? If you refuse to pay the property tax, the government takes your property away from you. What kind of scam is that? Now let's come back to this single career woman. 60,000 after tax, now you're down to 45,000. For $45,000, okay, the best you can do in Manhattan is to share an extremely tiny bachelor's apartment with another roommate. That is all you can afford. First of all, they strip away 25% of your earnings to taxes. Then 40% of your income after tax goes to paying rent for a shitty bachelor's apartment. And that's only if you rent with another roommate. Then you have to worry about putting food on the table. And I'm sure everybody understands that, the price of groceries have been skyrocketing for the past few years. So the best you can afford with your bullshit $45,000 a year salary is to eat instant noodles and craft dinner all day. Then after you take care of your shelter, after you take care of your nutrition, the most important thing is your healthcare. How are you going to keep on working 40, 50, 60, or even 72 hours a week if you can't keep yourself healthy, okay? What if you run into a health emergency? What if you have to go to a hospital? And guess what? Your bullshit job doesn't even cover your health insurance. So when you get sick, when you have to call a paramedic, when you have to go to the hospital, you have to pay everything out of pocket. You see what's happening, right? This BS salary, empowering women, this feminism, okay? All of this was created by rich, powerful white folks, okay, in order to enslave modern women. That's what feminism is. Don't you see that? Okay, they tell you to go out there and earn a paycheck. Okay, you ended up going to school, you get a degree, you get your master's, you get your PhD, just to work at some bullshit job that you absolutely hate. Your BS company Zoom meeting, that could have been an email. We save so much more time instead of sitting there listening to some old fart for the next 2, 3, 4 hours, giving out some stupid PowerPoint presentation. All of that could have been done with an email exchange. Okay, then with whatever money you make, 25 to 30% goes to FICA. Then 40% goes to your rent. Then 40% goes to your healthcare. Then 20% goes to your food and nutrition. You're left with absolutely nothing. How is that not a modern day slavery? Now, this kind of practice has always been used on men throughout history. But, men stay quiet, men don't complain, men understand that, we have a role in our society. And men are willing to do these things. Men are willing to be enslaved by this system because that they know that with the money they make, they will be able to provide for a family. They can finally find a wife. They can finally start a family. And that they can put a roof over their head and they can put food on the table. That's why man was okay with this system since the beginning of the time. He understands that for a family to be working and functional, a man must be the breadwinner. This modern day slavery system they call feminism has made women absolutely miserable. Because listen, if this system worked, shouldn't these women be screaming and overjoyed all the time? Shouldn't they go out to the street and celebrate? They say that, oh, we're finally liberated. We're finally independent from men. We're finally living our dream. We finally achieved the feminist utopia. However, every single feminist I've ever met in my life, especially the ones that's in their 40s and 50s, every single one of them is absolutely miserable. Almost every single one of them has contemplated suicide. Almost every single one of them have, at some point, has been on antidepressants. I know this from heart because my mom is a feminist, and look at what it did to her. She has had multiple suicide attempts. I will share more of my family stories here in a new series coming in July. I know many people have been reaching out to me in the comment section. Many people are interested in my family story, how my family has had over 30 divorces. I will share every single detail so you guys can finally understand this BS cultural Marxist concept that they call feminism has nothing to do with empowering women. It is meant to enslave and destroy women. So why would the elites want this? It's very simple. You see, way back then, let's go back to the 1950s and the 1960s, okay? This is when the Americans were the wealthiest, on average, of course. There are exceptions. So back then, in almost every single household in America, the man was the breadwinner, okay? When all the good paying jobs were given to men are able to share their money with their family. And we had a society of a functioning, stable, nuclear family. Then look at what happened. The elites started pushing this movement of third wave feminism in the 1970s. They want to push all of the men out of these good paying jobs. They want to replace them with women. Why would they do this? Okay, see, it's very simple. When a man makes $1 million, the next thing he's going to think about is that how am I going to make the next million? How can I get to a net worth of 5 million and 10 million and 20 million? What happens when a woman makes $1 million? The first thing on her mind is that she's gonna say, oh my god, I have so much money now. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go to a Louis Vuitton. I'm going to a Bloomingdale's. I'm going to Zara. Let's take a shopping trip to Paris. Let's go to Dubai. I'm going to buy myself the most expensive handbag in the world. I'm going to buy myself a pink Mercedes. I'm going to log on to Amazon or Temu. I'm going to go on an online shopping spree every single day. Do you guys know why I know this? I mentioned this before. My mom, at one point, when her business really took off from the years of 2006 to 2008, okay? At one point, she became a multi-millionaire, okay? She brought everybody in the family to do business with her. At one point, she was able to employ 50 people. She rented 4 offices, and she purchased 3 cars and 3 properties. And do you know what I noticed with my mom and also my aunts that were making money, including my sisters and my cousins? The first thing these women did, as soon as they made a lot of money, they started saying that, oh my god, I'm going to buy myself a $2,000 designer boots. I'm going to buy myself a $3,000 purse. I'm going to buy myself a $10,000 leather jacket. Oh my god, I'm going to go on a $30,000 shopping spree. You see, gender lives in the brain. Man and woman are completely different. When the man starts to make a lot of money, the first thing he's going to want is that he's going to want to have sex with as many women as possible, especially young women. I'm talking about 18 to 22-year-olds. Ladies, okay, you want the guy that's the top G. You like CEOs, you like millionaires, you like rappers, you like NBA players. Okay, all of the guys that's in the top 1% income earners are like that. When the man makes an insane amount of money, he's going to want to have sex with as many women as possible. However, when a woman makes a lot of money, the first thing on her mind is that she wants to go shopping from the most expensive stores across every single continent. Now, let's talk about OnlyFans, okay? So you have models like Elle Brooks, okay? She's saying that she can make upwards of $1 million US in 1 month. $1 million a month, that's $12 million a year. The average salary in the NBA is $9.6 million right now, okay? So some of these popular OnlyFans models, they can make more money than social media influencers, than professional athletes, than celebrities, than neurosurgeons, or hedge fund bankers in New York City. Do you guys not see how misogynistic that is? Do you guys know what they do in interrogation rooms? Do you guys know what they do in China, in Russia, in Saudi Arabia, in Iran? Every time they interrogate a prisoner, they always strip that prisoner completely naked, and they will shine a flashlight on the prisoner. Do you know why they do this? It's to take away all of your dignity, okay? It's for the authorities to impose their power on these prisoners. It's to show that they have zero respect for them. It's to show that these people are the lowest scums on earth. It's to show these people that they have zero moral value. It's to show that these people are worth 100% trash. Okay? For these men out there pushing this agenda, for these men to be telling these women, okay, go out there, have a couple of drinks on Friday night. Go have a one-night stand. Go have a summer fling. Go have a situationship. Go have sex with a bunch of men without commitment. And for these men to tell these modern 18-year-old women to take off their clothes and strip themselves 100% naked and buy a couple of cameras and invite over a bunch of guys and live stream themselves having orgy on a Friday afternoon with 3,000 people watching. They want you to do this every single day, to repeat the process again and again and again. Ladies, do you not see what's happening? These men, they want to take away all your moral values. They want to take away all your dignity. They want to take away all your self-respect from you. Okay? This is the worst form of misogyny. That's why you see so many of these porn stars and OnlyFans, they're killing themselves. Vast majority of these women die from drug overdose within 5 years of retiring from the industry because of the shame and the humiliation they're taking. There's nothing that can be more misogynistic than that. You see, way back then, when all the men that were willing to work hard, okay, all of these men could find a good paying job. All of these men could find a wife and start a family. But however, okay, with this new feminist agenda, they have pushed over 50% of these men out of these good paying positions. So what happens with these broke guys who are making anywhere between $30 or $40 or $50,000 a year? Now these guys, they can't get a girlfriend and they can't get a wife. So what do? They save up their money and they start paying for porn and OnlyFans. That is why the porn industry generates $100 billion a year globally. And where does this money go? It goes to these porn stars and OnlyFans models. And what happens when these porn stars and OnlyFans models make millions of dollars? They don't go out there to look for a man to start a family. They start going shopping. They start buying these exquisite, expensive makeup kits. They start getting plastic surgeries or Botox or boob jobs. Do you guys know what is the expected profit for the global cosmetics industry in 2024? Okay, $670 billion. Okay, ladies, if you don't need men, why the hell do you need to put makeup on when you go outside? You see, by removing men from these good paying jobs, now these guys become a middle class or lower middle class. Now that they don't have enough money to find a girlfriend for a wife, so they spend their money on porn and OnlyFans. Then these women, they take the money that these poor middle class men have given to them. Then they take it out and go shopping. And then where does this money go? It goes to Zara, goes to L'Oreal Paris, it goes to Coco Chanel, it goes to Forever 21, it goes to Ralph Lauren. It goes to Temu, and it goes to Amazon. And who owns the vast majority of these household brands? It's rich white men. You see how the vicious cycle works, right? Okay? This whole movement was all started by the elites, by the rich white man. So you have a transfer of wealth from the middle class to the female. After all of these young females earned the wealth from these poor to middle class males, they will take all of the money. They will simply give it back to these rich, elite white males. Now, there are many other points that I want to cover for this topic, but the video is getting too long. So I'll leave you guys with one question at the end of this video, something for you guys to think about. Think about all of these radical feminists out there. Think about all of these modern women that absolutely hates men. They want to crush the patriarchy. All of these women signing up for OnlyFans. All of the strippers, all of the prostitutes. What is the one thing all of these women all have in common, okay? Everything that has gone wrong with our society can all be solved with a very simple question. You can simply ask all of these women, where is your father?